Alright, deep breath, because this car deserves more than calm sentences. Let me start with a confession. I didn't think Chevrolet would actually do this. Not like this. When rumors of a 1,000-horsepower Corvette started floating around, I assumed it would be a numbers car. Big dyno flex, straight-line monster, headline bait. Something insane, sure, but still very America loud, Europe precise. The 2026 Corvette ZR1 completely shatters that assumption. And the ZR1X? That thing feels like Chevy engineers stayed late, locked the doors, and decided to settle old scores. Let's talk about the regular ZR1 first, because even calling it regular feels wrong. A flat plane crank, twin-turbo V8 making 1,064 horsepower? That sentence alone would have sounded fictional 10 years ago. This is Ferrari architecture. This is hypercar thinking. This is not something Corvettes were supposed to do. And yet, it works. Horrifyingly well. The LT7 engine isn't just powerful, it's violent in a controlled, almost surgical way. Flat plane engines don't roar, they scream, they rip. At 8,000 RPM, this thing doesn't sound angry, it sounds unhinged, like it wants to live at redline and only visits idle as a courtesy. But here's what impressed me most. Chevrolet didn't just build an engine and hope physics would cooperate. They rebuilt the entire car around the problem of handling 4-digit horsepower. That split-window rear glass, that's not nostalgia cosplay. That's airflow management, heat extraction, turbo survival. It's Chevy saying, yeah, we remember our history, but we're using it as a weapon. The aero package is another moment where this stops being a Corvette conversation and starts being a hypercar one. Over 1,200 pounds of downforce. That's not marketing fluff, that's race car territory. That's the kind of number that changes how a car behaves at speed. At 200 miles per hour, most cars are negotiating with the road. This thing is pinning it down and daring it to fight back. Carbon ceramic brakes are standard, and they have to be. When you're approaching corners with that much speed and mass, braking isn't about slowing down, it's about survival. And Chevrolet didn't cheap out, they overbuilt it, like they were scared of their own creation. Now, that would already be enough to redefine the Corvette name. But then Chevy looked at that monster and said, what if we made it unfair? Enter the ZR1X. This is where things get genuinely disrespectful. The ZR1X isn't a variant, it's a statement. It's Chevrolet fusing brute force with intelligence, old-school power with modern ruthlessness. Same LT7 V8 behind you, same twin turbos, same scream. But now there's an electric motor up front. And unlike the E-Ray, which politely bows out of the party at high speeds, the ZR1X keeps pulling, all the way to 160 miles per hour. That's not hybrid efficiency thinking, that's drag strip warfare. This setup turns traction into a cheat code. Launches are brutal, immediate, drama-free, no wheel spin theatrics, just instant violence. Seriously, your brain barely catches up before you're already questioning your life choices. But what really got me wasn't the quarter-mile talk, it was the Nürburgring lap. 6 minutes, 49 seconds, .275. Let that sit for a second. That's not fast for an American car. That's not impressive for the price. That's just fast, period. Faster than cars that cost 10 times more. Faster than machines built by brands that practically live at the ring. Chevrolet didn't fluke that lap. You don't accidentally dip under 7 minutes. That requires balance, chassis discipline, cooling that doesn't melt halfway through the lap, confidence through high-speed sections where aero matters more than horsepower. This tells me something important. The ZR1X isn't built to win arguments online. It's built to win places. The brakes on this thing, 16.5-inch carbon ceramics, the largest ever on a Corvette, feel like Chevy anticipating stupidity. Like they know owners will push this car beyond reason, and they engineered it to forgive nothing. And then there's push to pass. That button alone sums up the ZR1X's personality. It's not subtle, it's not refined, it's a straight-up not today switch. Extra electric boost, instant shove, zero patience. You don't press it gently, you stab it. Now, let me be critical, because blind hype is boring. This car is intimidating. Not just fast, intimidating. The learning curve is steep. You don't casually hop into a ZR1 or ZR1X and feel like a hero. You feel watched, like the car is assessing you. The limits are so high that most drivers will never touch them, and that's not a knock, it's just reality. This is not a weekend cruise machine, unless your weekends involve track telemetry and tire warmers. The interior, while massively improved over past Corvettes, still doesn't feel like a $200,000 European hypercar cabin. It's functional, performance-focused, but not indulgent. Some buyers will care, purists probably won't, and availability? Good luck. These will be rare, marked up, argued over, and instantly legendary. But here's the thing that keeps replaying in my head. This doesn't feel like Chevrolet chasing Europe anymore. It feels like Chevrolet daring them to respond. The 2026 Corvette ZR1 is proof that America can build a precision weapon. The ZR1X is proof that they can evolve it without losing its soul. This isn't muscle grown up. This is muscle educated. And honestly, if I were Ferrari or Porsche right now, I wouldn't be laughing. I'd be checking mirrors.